Happy Monday. It's time for some book talks. This might possibly be my last book talk of the year, maybe. Next week we're on spring break, and then after that I will be possibly out the next 3 Mondays for doctor's appointments, and then my last day here at East is April 19th, and then I won't be back until August. So I have 2 books to talk to you about today. Both of these are on the YALSA ALA Best Fiction for Young Adults list, which we have a display for right at the front of the library. When you come in, we have the little mini desk, and on the shelves there are books from the Best Fiction for Young Adults list, which are all great books, and all, coincidentally, well, no, maybe not all, but a lot of them are also part of YALSA's Hub Challenge, which began just maybe a week or so ago and runs through the beginning of June. If you're interested in participating in the Hub Challenge, just Google Hub Challenge. Anybody can participate in it. You just have to read 25 books from Young Adult Library Association's award lists, and then when you're done, you can possibly win a prize. You get a nice little finisher badge, which is just a graphic you can put on your website or your profile page or whatever, for whatever you have on social media. But it's an accomplishment, and people like to talk about the books during the challenge, so check that out if you're interested in it. Last week I read, we actually have this book in the library, but it's checked out right now. It's called Eliza and Her Monsters. It is about a girl named Eliza Merck who has created a phenomenally popular webcomic. Okay, she is a high school student, and she has published this webcomic anonymously. It's been going on for about 2 years. She has literally millions of fans, none of which know who she is in real life, and that's the way she likes it. When she's at school, she's not a social person. She dresses kind of inconspicuously. She tries to kind of blend in. She doesn't like to draw attention to herself. But online, she has an exuberant personality. She's talking to people. They are always looking for what she's putting up every week. She makes a significant income from her webcomic. So it's an interesting, concept for those of you that know about the concept of internet famous. This girl's internet famous, but in real life, she doesn't have friends. She's pretty socially isolated. And it's one of those books where, without these kind of really out there coincidences, you wouldn't have a story. But very close to the beginning of the book, a boy moves to her school, and it turns out that he is the #1 fan fiction writer for fan fiction about her webcomic. But he doesn't know that she created this webcomic. And they become friends, and things happen, and then I'm not going to tell you everything else because then you won't have any reason to read the book. But it was a very cute story. There's a little bit of this feeling that something bad's going to happen, but you don't know what it is. But it's not devastating, I'll tell you that. So it's got some issues and stuff in it, but it's not super heavy. It's not super light. It's kind of in between. But it's a nice story about relationships and social interaction in today's climate. The other one is a little bit more intense, Devils Within by Henson. This book is based on white supremacist compounds, okay? Hate groups. And these things actually exist. Southern Poverty Law Center keeps a list of groups like this. You can see them on a map. You can see where they're located in the United States. But this book is based on a compound that actually exists, but the compound that actually exists is not in the state that it is in the book. In this book, it's called The Fort, and it's in Kentucky. And the main character, you already know at the beginning of the book that he has killed his father in self-defense. His father was abusive to him his whole life. And at the beginning of the book, they're describing him being chased through the woods by his dad. There's a struggle, and a gun goes off, and the dad is killed. From that point, he goes to jail. Then he goes to a psychiatric facility. And then he is relocated to another state, 2 states away, with an uncle he didn't know ever existed. And he is trying to start over. He's trying to start over. They've changed his last name. He doesn't want to, he wants to start a life where he doesn't do any of these things that he's done in the past. Because there's a lot more to it than just he was raised in this particular compound. Like, his mother had tried to get him out when he was small. She was killed, and then he was taken back, and then all this horrible stuff happens. Like, so it's pretty heavy. It's pretty intense. I was actually expecting it to be a little bit more intense than it really was. Like, the first probably half of the book is all just explaining how we got to this point. Talking about the student or the main character's childhood and things that happened in the compound, and then how he got to where he is now. And then about halfway through the book, things get crazy. Okay, he's been hiding from this group because they're not happy about what he's done. He does not want to be found. And about halfway through the book, I'll just go ahead and tell you, they figure out where he is. So, I read the last half of the book in 2 hours. The first half took me 2 days, last half 2 hours, and then all of a sudden it was over. I would recommend it, though, if you are interested in actual experiences of people growing up in these things. And it's more complicated, like I said, it's more complicated than you'd think. So, but it'll be up there on the display if you'd like to check it out. And if you want me to talk to you about any of the other books on the display, some of them I've already read, some of them I'm planning to read, a couple of them I've already done book talks on. But that is all I have for you today. If you have any suggestions of things you'd like for us to buy, I've got one more order that I will do before I go out. So let me know if there's any books that you would like to see us add to the library. And see you later. Bye.